This is Ritesh Srinivasan and welcome to my channel. In this video, let's look at Visual ChatGPT, which is talking, drawing and editing with Visual Foundation models. So this is the paper. They also have a GitHub page, okay? So where you have a demo over here, right? Basically you can upload a picture, you can ask certain questions. So I thought let me try out the demo first, okay? And then I'll try to go into explaining the system architecture and stuff like that. So to try out this demo, I tried installing this particular set of basically this set of instructions on my Windows machine. It did not work. There were some issues. And then I found out that when I go to issues, there is actually an enhancement. So somebody has actually added Google Collab support. Okay. So I basically looked at that particular package. This is from Rupesh. So I tried out this particular notebook. Okay. So when I tried out this particular notebook, basically the enhancement which was done by Rupesh. Okay. So when I tried out that notebook, I could get this demo working. Otherwise, there were some issues. Some key things which needs to be mentioned over here is that this particular demo supports image captioning, blip, VQA, image to Canny. So these are visual foundation models. Okay. And what you need to do over here is that in this notebook, you need to specify your OpenAPI key over here to run it. Okay. Because in this demo, you will be connecting to ChatGPT. And then you can start this demo. So actually, I've already started the demo. So let me go to that and we can try out. Okay, so I asked, hello, who are you? So it says that I am a Visual GPT, a virtual dialogue assistant. Okay, so if you go to the flow over here, you know, uh, the flow is available over in the code, right? So let's go to the code over here. Do I need a tool? Entering this thing, generating image. Okay, it starts from here, right? So the first prefix is hello, who are you? So the previous memory is null, right? And it says that whether this no is there, right? This no is whether it needs to make use of a visual foundation model like blip or stable diffusion or any other thing. So it says no, it need not do that. And the AI says that, hi there, I am a visual chat GPT, a visual dialogue assistant. Okay. So that is this particular this thing. Okay. Then I say, I like a drawing, but I am bad at drawing. Can you draw me an apple? Okay. Why did I put this? There was this example in this paper which talks about one such scenario. Okay. See, I like drawing, but I'm good at drawing. Can you help me? I'm not good. I like drawing an apple, so I just tried that out over here. Okay. Then if you go over here to the next this thing, here is an S. So in this case, because it needs to generate an image, okay, so the input is I like drawing, but I am bad at drawing. Can you help me draw an apple? Okay, and the previous was hello, who are you? All this thing. So this is the human prefix, basically our text, right? So it says that, yeah, in this case, I have to, use the visual foundation model because the system principle over here in this particular, model, Visual Chat GPT, is that the system is designed to generate images if there is a mention of image in the text. So there is this prompt manager which now will make a call to the visual foundation model. Okay. So basically that is what is this thing, generate image from user input text. Action input is draw an apple. Okay. So it then makes use of stable diffusion. But if you see over here, it has also added some additional prompts like draw an apple, refine to draw an apple, take a look at the water below, swirl it all on background, trending and artisan. So basically this is a prompt which has been generated by a prompt manager over here, right? So the thought over here is, do I need to use a tool? No. Okay. I can help you draw an apple. Here is the image generated. Okay. So this is the image which is, sure, I can help you draw an apple. Here is the image generated. This is the apple image which was generated. Okay. So then I said, can you just have an apple? can you just have an image with a single apple in a basket? So I wanted to modify it. Okay, so then along it has finished this chain and it goes back again over here and it says that this is the history, right? Again, yes, it needs to call visual model. The action is generate image from an user input text, an image with a single apple in a basket. Now the prompt over here for that actually changes like an image with a single app in a basket, refined to an image with a single apple in a basket, soft yellow light in the middle, intricate, it makes some changes and then it generates. Do I need to use a tool for this text? It says no, here is the image I generated. Okay, it's generated this thing and the next flow is this for the response, right? An image with a single apple. So it says here is the image I generated and the image which was previously generated it shows and it says it shows a single apple in a basket. Okay, so the image which is generated was this. So there are multiple apples over here, right? So it depends on that model which has been used for generating the images. Okay, so if you look at this demo, it says it supports image captioning, blip, VQA, image to canny. So it uses Stable Diffusion basically. Um, so if you go over here, let's go to this thing. So it is actually generating that image where we were here, right? Single apple in a basket. So it completes that chain and it shows this thing. So it maintains the history as well. So I ask what are the colors of apple in this image. So in this case, it is let's look at what is the thing which happens over here. Right, finished chain, current memory is this thing. Again, it says I have to use visual this thing. Here it uses blip VQA. Okay. Question, what are the colors of apple in this image? And it will send that images. This is an answer from blip VQA. Okay, blip was a model from Salesforce which I have covered previously, which is used for visual question answering. So you can look at that video, but it then tries to answer over here red and green. So that is the answer over here, which is quite accurate, right? Then I say, can you convert the apples to oranges? Okay. So again, if you look at it, it will make use of the visual foundation model and it will convert the apple to oranges. Basically, it asks for this editing, right? For open end generation, something, convert the apple to oranges, refine this is the prompt and it runs that and it generates the new image. Okay, there are no oranges. So I don't see any oranges in this image. So it should actually again go to blip. That is my expectation, but let's see. Yes, it goes to blip. It sends the image and the question and the answer comes back as no, right? No, there are no oranges in this image and it is finished this particular chain. Okay. All the while maintaining the previous history. So if you see the current memory, this is the current memory, right? And number of tokens, there are no oranges. So this is your current history. So it keeps doing this multi-model kind of chat. So then I asked like, can you generate images of oranges in this image? What I meant was, can you insert some oranges in this image? Again, it called the visual foundation model and then actually it is generating the image, but it also adds some other prompt over here, right? So in this way, it has generated the image. Okay. Then I ask, what are the color of oranges? Stupid question. Oranges are orange in color. Okay. So then it sends that to VQA. Blip VQA gets the answer over here. So, and it also maintains history, right? And in this way, you can actually, converse with this particular visual chat GPT. Okay. So there are other demos over here in the original page where they do some things like editing of the image. Say this bicycle is there, right? What is the color of the motorcycle? It is black. Could you remove the motorcycle? So it does editing and it removes this, right? All the while maintaining the history, right? Another example of a cat where they were going to replace the cat with a dog. Okay, right? So Visual ChatGPT connects ChatGPT and a series of visual foundation models to enable sending and receiving images during chatting. Okay, so now let's look into the paper. Let's try to understand a little bit at a high level the architecture of Visual ChatGPT. Okay, so what they say is that ChatGPT is trained with languages. It is currently not capable of processing images from visual world. At the same time, you have visual foundation models such as Stable Diffusion, visual transformers, right, control net, all these things. They have great visual understanding and generation capabilities. They are only experts on specific tasks with one fixed input and output. So how do you combine ChatGPT with these visual systems? So that is where this visual ChatGPT comes in picture. They incorporate different visual foundation models to enable the user to interact with ChatGPT by sending and receiving not only languages but also images. So you using this, you can enable ChatGPT to do tasks like visual questioning, answering, right? You can provide complex visual questions or visual editing instructions that require the collaboration of multiple AI models with multiple steps, providing feedback and asking for corrected results. For example, your text prompt is there, right? Over here, it says, given this particular image, please generate a red flower conditioned on the predicted depth of the image and then make it look like a cartoon step by step. So once this image goes to the prompt manager, it knows that it identifies that first you need to get a depth map of this image. Okay, then it creates a depth match, and then again using it sends to ChatGPT that text and says that okay, iterative reasoning it needs to do. The next is what it needs to make it look like a uh, you know basically red color, right? Then make it look like a cartoon. So that is what is possible over here. Okay, I think that part is explained over here. User uploads an image of yellow flower, enters a complex language instruction. Okay, with the help of prompt manager, visual chat gpt starts a chain of execution of related visual foundation models. It applies depth estimation model, then utilizes depth to image model to generate a red flower, and finally style transformer to convert it into a cartoon. Okay, so that is the idea over here. So what they say is that we design a prompt manager in which we involve 22 different visual foundation models and define the intercorrelation among them for better interaction and combination. Okay, so let's go further and see what is their kind of an architecture. So here is another example which they have given. So there is this image which is given as an input. Okay, if you look at this internal architecture, you have visual foundation models, this blue color. There is this user query, there is history of dialogue, system principles, prompt manager is there. Okay, and it connects to chat gpt. So what happens over here, it receives this image, right? So next says replace the sofa in this image with a desk and then make it like a watercolor painting. So the question is replace the sofa in this image with the desk and then make it look like a water so that is the query, right? And this query needs to go to your system principles. F stands for your foundation models. Okay, so first is determine whether you need to use visual foundation model. So in this case, yes, because an image needs to be generated. Okay, so then you get this prompt coming, replace something from the photo, you get the inputs, right? And then you get an intermediate answer. So that is this particular desk intermediate replacement which happens over here. So that is this intermediate image which is generated. Okay, replace something, this intermediate image. And then again there is a question like the next model which needs to be done is that it needs to be made like a watercolor painting. So it again goes to ChatGPT, instruct image using text and this inputs. Now the additional prompt comes from ChatGPT and then it generates this image which is your intermediate answer. Okay, so this is how the interaction happens between say this visual language model with the prompt manager to ChatGPT, and from ChatGPT you get this additional text which comes in, and then based on that text you have this further image generated. Okay, the next question is what color is the wall in the picture. So this will actually go to your blip. From blip you will get an answer, and that answer is shown over here. Again, here they say use VFM is equal to no, but in my case I have seen that it makes use of this visual foundation model for this answer. In this case they have not used it over here. Maybe with this previous history which is available in chat gpt, maybe it is not required over here. This image, the chat gpt can answer the wall in the picture is blue. I think that is what is the example over here, but in our case it was referring to visual question answering when I asked the question, what is the color of the orange in the image or something like that. So that is the idea over here, right? So in ChatGPT, you kind of maintain the history of the conversation. along with an understanding of the image which can be obtained from using the foundation models. And visual foundation models can be used to edit the images. Okay, so that is the example which they have shown over here, right? And here they talk about the prompt manager. Okay, so there are system principles. So system principle is like Visual GPT can invoke different visual font to indirectly understand pictures. Visual GPT is very strict to the file name and will never fabricate non-existent file names. So these are some principles which this thing. And the reasoning format is thought, do I need to use a tool, action, action input. So that is what is present over here. Thought, action, action input. Okay, right? So this is from prompt manager, system principles basically. So how prompt manager interacts with system principles. Okay, then how prompt manager interacts with your visual foundation models. Okay, so here if you look at this, if name answer the question about the image, so this particular this thing is used, prompt is useful for when you need to answer for a question based on image, like what is the background color or last image, right? Or things like the input of this tool. So the another example is like you want to convert this image to a particular style, things like that. So this is where the prompt manager will interact with your visual foundation models. Okay, and with the history of dialogue, basically it makes use of that, the history of dialogue, right? It also interacts, makes use of this thing, basically user query. So Visual GPT it generates a unique file name for every user query. Okay, and it starts that it starts this, do I need to use a tool? Basically it starts this particular action set of these things, right? And then over here the prompt manager, basically history of reasoning it takes in, and it does chain it file name, ask for details. When the user command is ambiguous, it will then try to ask for details. Otherwise, what is the previous operation, what is the next operation, and it tries to do that. Okay, so this is a overview of prompt manager. It converts all non-language signals into language so that ChatGPT can understand. That is the idea over here. Then details are given about system principles. Probably will not talk about it, about chain of thought. So it's basically explaining this figure over here and other things. Okay. What else is there? Prompt managing of user queries. So here they talk about the different things, like what are the system principles. It provides basic rules for Visual ChatGPT. For example, it should be sensitive to the image file names and should use VFs to handle images. So that is one system principle if image file names are present. Okay, visual foundation models, the core of ChatGPT, Visual ChatGPT, combination of various visual foundation models where each has a predetermined function with explicit inputs and outputs. History of dialogue is with every round of question and answer, that history needs to be maintained, and what they say is that they will truncate the dialogue history with the maximum length threshold to meet the input length of ChatGPT model. User query is whatever the user is asking, it could be linguistic or visual query. Okay. History of reasoning is to solve a complex question, Visual ChatGPT may require the collaboration of multiple visual foundation models, and that order of this thing conversation needs to be maintained. Intermediate answer is when handling a complex query, you will get an intermediate answer. Okay. Prompt manager is designed to convert all visual signals into language so that ChatGPT model can understand. Okay, and then they talk about how it manages these different parts. That is what is this particular thing. Okay, so I will link in this paper and you can read through this. But this is the idea, right? It's quite an interesting idea. So with the prompt manager, you can combine ChatGPT with multimodal inputs, right? And you can perform conversations like this. Okay, conversations, editing images, right? So there are some examples over here of chain of thought and this thing, prompting, managing of system principles, how it works. In some cases it doesn't work. Those things are details are present over here. There are many examples over here as well. So maybe you can check it out. Okay, you can read through this paper and you can try out the demo. Okay. So this was a short demo which I tried. Okay. So this is thanks to this particular Collab add-on from Rupesh, which is present over here. So I'll put the link of this particular add-on, the link for Visual ChatGPT, and the paper as well in the description of the video. You can check it out. I hope this video is useful for you. If you like the video, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. See you in another video.